Hello everyone, I, Vanchita Goenka, the moderator of this session, welcome you all and thank you for tuning in guys. So as we all know that the ongoing crisis has not only altered the professional scenario but also the way of how we connect. So keeping in mind the same, we have with us our very first speaker of Virtual We Talk series with us, an entrepreneur and a finance enthusiast, Miss Ekta Sehgal Malhotra. She'll be speaking on the topic Finance in Women, Myth or Reality, a topic that holds greater significance these days. Good evening, ma'am. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Vanshita. I'm doing well. I hope the same for you.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So, ma'am, Women Innovator has always believed in welcoming innovative ideas and opinions from different backgrounds. So, let me quickly take this opportunity to introduce you to our audience. So, Ms. Ekta Sehgal is founder of Manas Management Advisors, president at Global Womenpreneurs Click, curator at Vanya's Crafts. Trust is what matters for her the most, and this is her success mantra. Her aim has always been to reach out to many and make a difference. Her belief in her values and herself is what makes her strong. We welcome you, ma'am. Really honored to have you here.
Thank you so much, Vanshita. It's a great opportunity to be an women waiter. And as the first speaker in your talk series, I think there is a lot of onus that I carry on myself that
Yeah.
you can reach out to many and more. And once again, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am. So let's begin with the session, ma'am, as we can't wait to listen you. Many of our audience has already joined. So, ma'am, starting with the term itself, finance is more than just money. It's about constantly learning and making a difference. So, ma'am, what do you think about this?
Yes, Vanchita, finance is a very broad term. Normally, when you talk about finance, people think it's only about loans. कि हमें finance चाहिए, that's the common parlance that people would use. कि किसी को भी कुछ funding चाहिए, हमें finance चाहिए. But finance encompasses so much. It is about assets and liabilities. It is about credit and debit. It is about loans. It is about investments. It is about managing the company finances, your home finances, budgeting, expense. It is just endless. It's like a vast ocean that there are so many aspects in it. And I think it is very important that people constantly learn because as a doctor once he does his MBBS or she or he pursues his MD, you don't stop there. You are constantly learning and learning, and that's exactly how it happens in finance also. Because if you don't learn continuously, with so many changes that are happening in the environment, in the economy, in the regulatory environment, you will become redundant. So, over the last 19 years plus, I don't think there has been a single day where I haven't learned something new. And not only do you need to learn, but there is a lot of unlearning that you need to do. Finance is also not just quantitative, it is qualitative. It is not just numbers. It is also a lot to do with your approach, your attitude, and your behavior towards money. So, this, to my mind, put together encompasses what finance is and what finance should be for someone.
Yeah, that's a very great way to explain, ma'am. We really believe this. I mean, finance is not a it is not a step to be achieved. It's a continuous process of learning and unlearning. So, ma'am,
Yes.
continuing with this, how do you think women and men view finance differently, and are they really different? Please throw some light, on this gender-focused financial stereotypes.
Wow, that's a very interesting question, and I think that's one of my favorite topic also.
Yeah.
Men and women biologically are very different, which is a stated fact, which is a known fact. The way we look, the way we appear, the way we dress up, there is a difference. But when it comes to financial understanding, when it comes to financial thinking, or for that matter, even decision making, I don't think there is much of a difference. The difference lies in the way we think. For example, women will view money as security. Okay, mostly men will view money as success and power. But when it comes to managing money, when it comes to decision making, when it comes to planning to achieve your goals, the goals are pretty much the same. Do you think that the goal for a father for his child will be any different from a goal of a mother for a child? What do you think? So, not really, right? As much as your or my mother would want us to grow, in life and become successful, so would our respective fathers also. And this very subtle example I've given for people to understand that when you manage money, right, there is a minimal level of IQ that is needed. Like I said, it is not just about numbers, it is a lot of qualitative aspect, it is a lot about your approach and attitude. So when you talk about all these things, whenever you involve yourself in money matters and decision making, especially when it comes to investments, it is a very long term process. It's a long term approach that you use. It is a nurturing approach. And I think women very naturally have that nurturing approach. Are your goals any different from your brother if you have a sibling? Or will it be any different from your husband if you're married? I don't think so. The goal is a goal. The goal doesn't see which gender it is coming from. What it sees is that what goal needs to be achieved, when it needs to be achieved. To ask a few questions of very simple, fundamental questions. Who manages the budget of the house? Predominantly it's the lady of the house, right? Who takes a lot of decisions, personal decisions in the house? It's the lady of the house. In good old days also, it was the women of the house who was so much involved in managing the entire household, even if it meant to manage the expenses, right? So men earned and they brought the money home, and it was the lady of the house who managed it. So when she's doing all this, so it is equal, right? So men and women biologically are different, but when it comes to doing investments, when it comes to planning, when it comes to decision making, goal setting, I don't think they are different. In fact, on the contrary, I would say the qualities and the aspect that a lady brings, in addition to the men, when they join hands, the goal achievement is far more faster and stronger because if women view it as security, men view it as success. So imagine if success and security join hands, things will happen like this. There will be growth, there will be development. And here I would also like to add that if a family involves the women of the house, makes her capable, to take decision making alongside, you're actually making an independent lifelong. And that journey has to begin child is when the lady is a child. We teach our boys that become an engineer, take up maths as a subject, but we discourage the girls कि आपको numbers नहीं आएंगे, आप numbers कर ही नहीं सकते हो, you are only cut out for creative work, आप सिलाई कढ़ाई कर सकते हैं. Things are changing, right? But that stereotyping is there, as you asked, that stereotyping is there. But to my mind, having dealt with both men and women as clients, I don't see any difference in the way a lady client would think and a male client would think. They all think the same. In fact, this is again one of my favorite lines that I would like to use here. That a lot of people would know Warren Buffett, right? He's one of the best fund managers. He's a very sought after person. Now, the reason that I'm not taking an example of a lady fund manager is because of lack of role models in our line of work. But Warren Buffett is looked upon by everybody, and there is a book written on him, which has been written by a lady author, and the title of the book says that if Warren Buffett invests like a girl, right? So if he is investing like a girl, which means that fundamentally there is no difference. And we women have the inherent capability, or we are natural when it comes to decision making, multi-management, assessing risk, and all these things are required when you take your financial decisions. So there is no difference. It is all in the mind. That myth has to break. And when that myth breaks, the the potential that the women across the world will bring forward is humongous. But what is alarming is that if you look at the financial literacy level of both men and women across the globe, if the gap between men and women is about 4 to 5%, that gap in India is anything between 7 to 8%. And what is even more alarming is that 76%, as per research which was done in 2019, 76% of adult population in India is financially illiterate, right? So if the men are not so literate when it comes to financial management, do you think they will encourage women? So this is also my appeal through this, that both male and female should involve themselves, should read, should learn financial management, because if they don't do, it definitely becomes the single largest contributor to your stress. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah, very true, ma'am. That's rightly put. And I guess yes, it's all in the mind. The when we join hands, the development, the growth will be many folds. So yeah, and yeah, women are natural investment managers, and there is no doubt in this. So, ma'am, it is often heard that the future of finance is female. So, how much you agree with this, and what do you think are the reasons behind this statement?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. And the future of finance is definitely women. Why? Because if women start contributing to the world economy, the potential revenue that can be earned is $700 billion. I think this number in itself should convey a very loud and clear message that the potential that we women have, if we start working, if we start contributing to the economy, if we start making investments and we are involved in the financial process, this is the potential that the world economy has. There are many reports, many research being done by many renowned organizations, and the reason why women right now are not there is because they are not given the right opportunity. It is because of the emotional baggage that they carry, the lack of independence. जैसे कि मैंने आपको एक एग्जांपल दिया कि बचपन से ही आपको बताया जाता है कि आपको फाइनेंस रिलेटेड मैटर्स में एंट्री नहीं करनी है. आपको मैथ्स क्या करोगे अगर आप मैथ्स नहीं कर सकते? इट्स टू कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. लुक एट थिंग्स विच आर सिंपल. लुक एट सम creative things, manage the house. And the moment there are more role models that get created in the financial industry, the more women will aspire to be there, right? We will be more independent. And I think the reason why females should look at finance as a space to be in or involve themselves in that, because women live longer. Okay, as per research, I'm not saying this just because I'm a lady, but as per research, the longevity of women is much more than men, at least about 5 to 7 years. Women, with women, the disparity of income is certainly there, and because of that disparity being there, their whatever corpus that they create for themselves, if they do not manage it right, it will not sustain them for the entire lifetime that they live post they quit their job. The attrition rate is very high in women. If the attrition rate is brought down, and that can only be brought down when the men of the house support the women. They are educated. The women are educated. They are made to be independent. Even today, there are many households who do not encourage women to work. So, if all these factors are taken into consideration and people start working towards them, finance is a field which needs a lot of patience, which needs a lot of nurturing, which needs a lot of long-term approach, which needs a lot of stability. All these things very naturally come to women. So, when they are a part of the financial decision making process as an individual or even at the organizational level, the money also becomes beautiful. The money also starts to smile because it sees that there is a positive mind behind it. There is a positive approach that you are bringing to the table. So definitely, like I said, that number in itself should answer your question, that that is the huge potential that women have. But And what should really be done is that a lot of financial awareness should be created for them. The more financial awareness is created to them, the more they will be involved. The women need to be encouraged to attend such sessions where investments is talked about. In my experience, most of them shy away. This discussion or this kind of a webinar or a session or a physical meeting in earlier times, let my husband attend it. Or if somebody approaches them, the immediate thing that they would do is that, okay, you want to talk about, say, an X investment product, I'll give my phone to my husband. So that becomes a very it's like saying कि अगर गाड़ी चलानी है तो आदमी ही चलाएगा. Ladies cannot drive because if they drive, they would probably bang into someone, or they don't know how to drive, or there are a lot of stereotypes. If somebody is driving badly, it's a lady who's driving. So when those thought process change, so there has to be a mind shift. Only when that mind shift happens, and that mind shift, mind you, doesn't have to come from men. The mind shift has to come from a lady. She has to feel that she is capable, qualified. She can do her own research. She has the capability to achieve what she wants to achieve. Because if she's independent, she will be more calm. She will be more relaxed. She will not get bogged down with the circumstances around it. Because research says that women tend to focus more time when it comes to nurturing families, nurturing children. But when it comes to managing your own investments or your own money, even if you're an entrepreneur, a womenpreneur, even if you're a womenpreneur, the financial aspect, the auditing, the taxation, and all those things related to finance is left to the men of the family. So when we start taking these things in our control, we will certainly be able to do a lot more than what we are today, and certainly will be the future. And I would say that the a woman's best protection, a woman's best protection is the money of her own, which she manages it, because then she will know how confident she is to be able to manage it, grow it, and sustain with it.
Very true, ma'am. Very true. So, ma'am, now being aware of the high potential that females carry and the importance of belief in themselves. So, what do you think are the career opportunities in the field finance for females?
The entire stadium is open for them. We spoke about the skill sets that women inherently have. Women, they are nurturers. Women can be very good financial advisors. They can be very good auditors. They can be very good, I would say, rating agency, because they will evaluate it to the core. That inherent capability that we bring in. हम हर एक चीज को बहुत बारीकी से देखते हैं. We could be very good in terms of servicing clients in the financial space, sales and marketing, distribution of financial products, financial advisor, even a CFO. Because when you have a lady, again, research says that there are not many women who form the board of an organization, right? Or even at a CFO or a CXO level. But if an organization wants to bring in that stability, and cut the myth that they have that if they hire a lady at a senior position, she probably will give more weightage to her household work than to the office work. I think if that myth is kept aside, the the human touch that an organization will bring in will be far superior. Because if the organization sets an example that, look, the lady is heading this division, she's bringing in that stability. So the career opportunities for women in finance it's a very dignified job that you do, right? You don't have to really work, very long hours in that sense of it, where you need to stay put at night. With times like today, you can work from home. Like I've been working from home. You need basic resources to do it. You learn a lot of things alongside, right? You are natural when it comes to budgeting and managing expenses. So you by default can be a perfect finance manager. So all these things. So the opportunity is humongous. And as a person who comes from the financial background, there is so much multitasking that one needs to do. And women, because they manage the household chores, they manage so many other aspects of their life along with work, by default become fabulous multitaskers. So when they are fabulous multitaskers, they bring in stability, they bring in the human aspect, they bring in the relationship, the nurturing of the relationship. All these things are required to harness the business. This is how you will harness the potential of your team. It's a mother who harnesses the potential of a child. If she is the leader of the organization, wouldn't she harness the potential of the employees that work with her? So the back, the ground is open. Jump into it, learn the skills of it, negotiation, emotions, nurturing approach, long-term approach. All these things make women a perfect fit when it comes to finance, and they're very disciplined.
Yeah.
So all these things add up to your capabilities to be a perfect finance person.
Yeah, ma'am, I totally agree with this, and in fact, I think all of us do. So, as we know that women, are breaking down the barriers and coming up, but still, we can see the gender inequality in the workplaces. So, what do you think? Can be the steps, to encourage more women to come up and to join the industry?
See, like I said, first and foremost, the education level has to go up. Okay, and as they say, charity begins at home. The home environment has to be such which encourages women that look, you are capable of it. Equal opportunity should be given. I don't think the work recognizes that a person is a male or a female. If you give equal opportunities, if there are no biases, look, let me put a simple point over here that the reason most organizations do not want to hire women or do not want to promote them to higher positions is because a woman in her career, in her lifetime, goes through many changes, right? She will get married, she will nurture a child, she will grow the child will have his or her own exam schedules and so on and so forth. There would be parents or in-laws who's she will take a step back to take care of them. My simple submission is that that the only responsibility of the lady? If the men of the family equally contribute, right, and if they are able to shoulder the responsibility, I don't see a reason why. Yes, I think the only time that a woman takes a very long break is when she goes on a maternity leave, right? But nowadays, even paternity leave is granted. I think if maternity leave is for maternity leave is also being given for about a month or so, right? So if that be the case, then if the shouldering of the responsibility is done together, women will be able to work upfront. And there are many examples that I know of where women manage both fronts. Why are you making her constantly understand or being reminded that look, you are incapable? And the reason why most people also want to hire women in their teams is because they know that if something is being given to her, she will deliver, right? So there is a dichotomy over there in the thought process. Now what? Just because she's junior, so you're willing to hire her? A lot of, and also I think here women need to support each other, because a lot of organizations hire HR managers who are women. They would also not view a lady who comes back after a sabbatical or comes back after a maternity leave to take up a job. A man, if he comes after a sabbatical, may still be given a similar level of salary, but when it comes to a lady, they don't. I'm saying that are you looking only at that sabbatical period? Why are you not looking at the point where the lady has worked upon? If she has the skill set, she has the capability, she has the experience, give her the opportunity. Why would you want to take that opportunity away from her? So I think when the thought process change, and this discussion about having women in the front or having women proceed in their careers is a talk of every boardroom today. The government has mandated that you need to have women on your board, because I think everybody now realizes that's where the 50% of the population of a country is women, right? And if they are not brought in front, if they are not given the opportunity, I feel that the economy will certainly lag. So begin at home, teach your daughters that set examples. I think the women who are working also need to work for the other women, set examples, treat them as equals. Do not subject them to the changes that they go through in their life, and treat men and women equally. Do not differentiate. And if women start to do this for women, automatically the opposite gender will also start to do that. So, it is in one woman's hand to inspire many. It is in one woman's hand to pull up many more along with her. That's what I would say.
Yeah, ma'am. That was a very practical answer, and I think the process, the change, should start from the homes itself. And ma'am, moving forward, what would you suggest to women, or for that matter, to everyone, for taking care of their financial well-being?
I think as a first step to take care of your financial well-being, first and foremost step is to create an emergency corpus for yourself for a minimum of 6 months expense. That should be the first step. Get rid of any expensive loans that you have on your portfolio, which you may have taken in haste. And after having done these two exercises, sit down with a calm mind and do the in-depth budgeting analysis. Because when you will do the budgeting analysis and get down to the basics, do not use a computer, do not use an iPad, do not use your phone. Use paper and pen. Because when you will write down and you will be able to see it in front of you will be able to articulate it in your mind. You will know exactly where are you earning from, what are you spending on, and what is it that you need to curb unnecessary expenses. You need to clearly identify what your needs, wants, and desires are. Focus on the needs, pay attention to your wants, and stay away from the desires, because many a time the desire is what leads to disaster. Stay away from, sorry, stay away from plastic money as much as you can, unless and until you're able to have a discipline to manage your plastic money and real cash. And if you do all these basic things, I think you are already ready to move to the next level to start planning for your future. Because if you plan for your future today, not only will you make your future bright, but your present will also be bright. So, women, you are wonderful. You have the potential in you. You just need to go all out to harness that potential. Do not just stop at budgeting, because that already you are doing at home. Take the next step, wear the hat of a person who can take investment decision. Do not be risk averse, because that is the reason why we women shy away. I would say be risk aware. So when you are risk aware, you will take better decisions. And even if you lose a little bit of money, it's okay. Practical experience, you will understand. And once you do, you will see that you will flourish. You will outshine anybody in your family when you take your financial decisions.
Very well said, ma'am. I think the answer was very valuable to me. It was really motivating, and I hope it was for everyone also. Ma'am, I think it's the time that we should move towards wrapping up the session. It was indeed a knowledgeable and insightful session. Since we are moving towards the end, what's that final piece of advice or message that you have for our audience?
So, like I said, read, understand, plan your own investments, involve yourself in financial decision making. Do not let your family be involved in something called as financial infidelity. Because if there is no financial infidelity in the family, the goals will be comprehensive and you will be able to achieve what you want to, and you will be independent and you will always have a smile on your face.
That was a very powerful message, ma'am. Once again, I thank you on behalf of the Women Innovator team for taking out time for us and sharing your valuable knowledge with us. It was truly an inspiring session for me as well. So, ma'am, I we hope to stay connected with you in future as well. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye bye.